Possibly an email about a month ago saying, thank you for that, but unfortunately some rapscallion had pinched the solid screwdriver.
Yeah, I lost it. Someone stole it from my back on the train.
So
it's a wicked world, folks.
It was funny because Nick Briggs was talking to David Fremont, who in Weta, who made same time I was, and Nick happened to be in Weta on Thursday.
Customs. So I put it in the luggage for the hold, if I were you. He said, you have a strange tube thing in your bag, sir. What is it? I said, it's a sonic screwdriver.
He really knocked this together at the time.
No, he'd done it when he knew I was coming to see him. I'd mentioned to him.
Look at this.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. Oh, that's sweet. That's fantastic. No, I got terrible last week ago when it was when it was Nick. I didn't want to read it to him. But I'm glad that I did it. Isn't that great? No one leaves here empty-handed. What should you talk about? Are you guys flying? It's nearly been 2 hours, isn't it? It's boring.
Well, are you going to take us to the shore?
I'm going to park in that perfectly dead. Come on, man. Paul. Wait, if I lie on the sofa when you psychoanalyze me, what? Where's that place from?
I've got a question for you. I was going to ask with no questions, but you probably don't ask to death. So,
I probably was.
You probably done with no questions to death in the past. So
no, you're free to ask anything more.
No, I'm going to ask this one. Don't go with this. It's not very related date. Eric Roberts. Madman or misunderstood genius?
I think probably is a touch of both. He's a nice actor. He's a good actor. I've told this story before, so apologies for anybody that has heard it before. But it took Eric about 10 days during the shoot to realise that I was the guy on the set during the day in Wigan. It was the same guy in the bar at night with the buzz cut. It took me 10 days to trick. I think actually we were in the gym in the hotel and he went, are you the... Oh, only there. No one ever realised. He's otherwise engaged, isn't he? Needs a check-up from the neck, as we say. Good actor. Yeah. So I can't hear you, so when you're conscious of being part of a scene from Liverpool, the writers that produced the different government at the same time? I actually left Liverpool in the late 70s, so although I'm pleased there when the line was writing then, I don't think we were that much part of that. Liverpool is the kind of place where, especially since the early 60s, it was, well, let's just say it wasn't, if you've grown up there, it wasn't inconceivable that you might go into the arts. Or it's a land, you don't kick a ball or go into the arts. That was what was down for you, as we say. So, although we have no theatrical lineage of the family,
God, that would think like, where the hell did they come from?
Yeah. Domestic operatives. Okay. But, so I mean, there's lots of theatrical roots in the family, but once we, it's a mixture of accident, opportunism, and really secretly not being qualified to do much else. We ended up in show business, and they didn't mind. But Liverpool's a good place to come from in that regard. And I miss it. I don't know, who's got the mic?
If Moffat says anything, can you please say yes?
About the new series, but
That's it. Say yes.
I will, okay, I'll say yes. I got your name and tell you said so.
So Emon said so.
All right.
And have you ever seen the Batman March figure animation series on YouTube?
No.
It's not me, but it's someone on YouTube. You should watch it.
Okay. Any recommendations? It's always nice to leave your recommendations. But I will tell Mom you said so. Yeah. We've easily influenced that. Speak.
My person actually already got cleared.
Hey? Put the mic right close to your mouth because there's no fallback here.
Okay, where would you like to see your doctor go in the audio phase in the future?
Well, forward would be nice. The good thing about the audios for me, particularly, is because, I mean, given that I was only on TV anyway, Doctor Who for 6 weeks, it's true, whatever it was 17 years ago, the audios have been a bit of a blessing. Not least that we've been able to, or I've been able to do some of the things that we've intended had the series been made. So it's been a good progression in that way. Even things like the Dark Doctor, Dark Hours and those things, and Grace, with some of the, I was always rather taken at the darker side of him. I think Doctor Who, as well as being a hero, is sometimes perhaps a slightly sad or melancholic or lonely figure. So we try to do those kind of things. So more of that, really, more of the same. But as long as it continues somewhere, I'll be happy. I'll continue to do that. What's the people with their hands up?
In An Earthly Child and Death in the Family, you worked with your son Jake as your great-grandson, and with Carolyn McCoy, who, if I remember correctly, you weren't aware that the Doctor had a family. What some views you can share about your experiences in those stories?
No, that was an education to me because I'm not, although I watched Doctor Who as a child, and my doctor was actually Bill Barton. I was a little child at that time, and I thought it was great. I think, again, it's what we were just saying, I think the seriousness and the gravity of it, I always imagined Doctor Who because Bill Barton was almost Victorian with this seriousness about it. But although we watched it, everybody watched it, then we just had 3 channels back in the UK at that time. So every kid watched it when they came home from school. I couldn't say I was an expert in it. And when we got to do the Earthly Child, it's been years and years of this stuff, and they're constantly having to fill in the gaps for me and educate me. And I wasn't even aware that there was a family situation. It was a lovely surprise. A lovely surprise when we got to it.
More?
Was there originally intention to continue with the Doctor originally?
I can't hear you, I'm so sorry. Put the mic right next to your gob.
Was there originally an intention to continue with your Doctor? And if so, why was it
Were you on television?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was, because it was a TV pilot that we made, so by definition, had it been successful, had it been picked up, would have... When you make a TV, it's still the same, I know, so for those people who don't know, when you make a television pilot in North America, as an actor, you have to sign a contract, a pre-contract, before they're allowed to shoot the thing. And the contract simply says that if the pilot's successful and it goes to a series, you belong to them for 6 years. When it goes to 6 years is in the lap of the gods, but you sign for 6 years. If the pilot is unsuccessful, you're basically out on your own. It's quite one-sided, and that's what happened in our case. So that's what would have happened had it been successful. I'd have gone to Canada, my kids would have gone to school in Vancouver, we'd have joined X Factor and all those other series that were shooting in Vancouver at the time. We've had a great old time. My kids have been Canadians, that's a big deal. But as much as when we were there in Vancouver, and the children were small as well at that time, and we, not just me, but Daphne Ashbrook, Eric Roberts, I think we almost went through the motions of checking out the houses in the Bay, looking at schools that might take the kids into that sort of thing, while all the time, realistically thinking, well, the chances of any pilot getting made are always against. So and that proves to be the case. But we're nearly there. We're not nearly enough.
Do you think was the better or the worse that they did making that series after the TV movie?
Sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to repeat that again. Put the microphone right next to it. You know why? Because it's the PA's going out that way, it's not coming back this way. And I can't see the lips moving. It's so sad to me to say that again.
Do you think it was for the better or the worse that they didn't continue on and make a series after the film?
For better or worse? Well, I mean, from my perspective, definitely worse. Because, I mean, you've got to remember as well, at the time, this was 1996, the BBC had shelved, canned, booted into the long grass, which, however you want to look at it, the series ended back, when was it, 1989, so it's been already 6 or 7 years. And there would be another 8 or 9 years. So, at that time when we made the TV pilot, it was kind of tantalizing because, you know, it was the only thing for 7 or 8 years that the fans and the viewers knew could actually pick up on. We nearly got there, but we didn't quite. But I think we're satisfied, and at least we can console ourselves, I think, with the idea at least that we contributed to the momentum that eventually got the thing back on, and in whatever year that was. I don't even know the years. But I think, you know, we contributed in our little way. Definitely. That's my story, anyway. Who's my favourite companion? Well, mine or the other ones? Mine. It's like saying you've got a favourite child. Is it? No, I'm a bedfellow. That's 60s. Because I know they're not listening and they're all asleep. Sharon Smith. Sharon Smith as Lucy. She's great, Sharon. Sharon's got that thing that I think David Tennant has. You know, you feel lucky to have them in the room. You know, this kind of, not only is there a fantastic, you know, energy about them and talent about them, and in Tennant's case, an amazing durability about them. You know, he never flags. He's superhuman. But Sharon is the same, and they make you feel you're just lucky to have them around. You know, it won't be for long, either. And now we've lost this incipient superstar. I miss her. She'll understand. It's not quiet in there, is it?
Hello.
Hello. Where's that voice coming from?
Over here.
Hello.
Hello. When you told your brother you got Doctor Who instead of him, was he surprised? And
I didn't know he'd gone up for it.
oh,
For the simple reason that when we, you know, for those of you that don't know, there's 4 boys in my family. They're all actors. And there's only 4 years between us, so it's kind of intense. But in answer to your question, I didn't know he was up for it. Because we vowed years ago, right at the beginning, that we'd never speak about work. It just saves, I don't know what it saves time, saves egos, or something. Saves ructions, isn't better to say. So he didn't tell me.
and
He didn't know I don't.
and another thing,
No,
did you ever play the 8th Doctor and to do the time war with the Doctor regenerated number 5?
Yeah, everyone asks this question. Everybody asks this question. And I think probably the diplomatic answer is that perhaps if it was ever deemed propitious, or if they decided that the 8th Doctor might make a return on TV, then probably, I can't speak for Moffat, but surely they'd have to attack that bit of the story. The time war story. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed. Can I say what I think? I'm training in the diplomatic corps. You must be boiling with that scarf on now. Poor thing. Shout. Speak up. Yeah. The question was, the audio's all good and well and good, but what's your honest opinion of the TV movie? My honest opinion of the TV movie, I think movie is actually a slight misnomer. It wasn't a movie. I hate to be picky about it, but it was no movie. Remember, it was shot on 35 minutes, which is what they shoot movies on, so I guess I stretch it to call it a movie. I prefer to call it a pilot, and it's a pilot that never made it. As you've asked for honesty, I'll give it to you. I think it did okay. I think that, you know, the remit of any pilot, and this one was no different, is to try. They're trying to fulfill what they're trying to guess at the audience that they're convinced might go for it. And in this case, they were slightly hamstrung, I think, because the Universal, Fox, the BBC, who were in charge of this so-called TV movie, had to appeal to what they were convinced was, you know, a few 100,000 strong audience in the US, while, and you know, with the tone of the program, at the same time that they realised that they might be talking to people who are completely uninitiated. So they had to introduce characters, iconic things that we're used to, and they had to sort of tell the story anew for those people, while at the same time not talking down to or patronising or putting the nose out of joint of many people back home who knew this stuff like the back of their hand. So it was a trick that they had to try and pull off. And my honest opinion is that it almost succeeded. But as I saw it, it ran the risk of doing neither. You know, neither appealing to the new audience or indeed really pleasing the audience back home. I don't think it quite did either. You know, I think the critical reception was warm, but I've heard a lot of voices since saying, yeah, but, you know, for people that knew it. So it didn't quite come off. That's my honest opinion on it. But of itself and for itself, it did okay. It did what it tried to do. You know, I know when, like, just take a few of them, just the costume I was to wear, the things I was to say, had to be quite strictly adhered to. But, you know, these things had to be introduced, you know. And there was some contentious things as well. Things like, he's half human. Like, that put the noses out of joints of so many people back home. People that, you know, could have got a PhD in this mythology. But to the new ones, it didn't matter. You know, so you can see that difficulty. That was really, that was a difficulty that it had anyway. And I kissed the girl.
Yeah.
Perfectly chaste, perfectly innocently. Not realising that it would cause a diplomatic incident back in the UK. There was nearly another siege of Boston Harbour. Someone's got a microphone. It's you. Give us the song, go on, there. Give us the one you sang at your mother's wedding. That's a little bit.
Hi, are you aware of the fact that you look very similar to Benedict Cumberbatch?
What, not squinting? I suppose I should take that as a compliment, shouldn't I? No, he looks like me, I'm a senior player. I got there first. Yeah. He's a really good lad. I've worked with him just once. I was lucky to work with him once on the radio. I was hugely impressed by him. He's another one who's like 10. You know, it's easy to talk about him. He's a brilliant actor. Anyway, enough. What was easy done? Oh. Keep calm, don't blink.
Out of all the Doctor Who monsters, which one do you find mysterious?
Daleks. Daleks are what any doctor worth his salt has to measure himself against. Daleks is you embodiment of evil. That's one regret, like, from only having done the pilot, but I never got to fight the Daleks. Both the Master, that's true, but that ain't the Daleks. But the Master is like Goebbels, isn't it? The Daleks is the Fuhrer himself. That's probably really an elegant illusion, but you know. But that's what it means to us. No, the Daleks are deeply scary. When I was a kid, though, I'm thinking back, I think it was in the Troughton era. Yeah, I would have been about 10 years old. And there were these yetis, these abominable snowmen. Absolutely terrifying. That was the one that terrified me most. Remember, their chests used to open, and these hearts, or whatever, I took that they were hearts, these spherical, metallic hearts used to come out and just hover. Absolutely terrifying to attend with. And sort of disappeared, but quickly seen. Shocking. Take my word for it. Anyone's ever seen it. More.
Out of all the Doctor Who costumes that you've seen,
But I never got to wear.
yeah, which one would you say is your favourite, or you would want to wear the most?
I'll tell you a story. When I arrived to do the infamous movie pilot movie, I'd just done this Soldier Boy film, and my hair was about this long. You know, it was short. And I arrived in Canada on set, and Philip Siegel, who produced the thing, just freaked. Because I've got the gig, really. He told me anyway, the year before, I'd done this long-haired 19th century priest part with my brothers. I had this long hair, and he thought I looked like Doctor Who, that's how I got the gig. But when I showed him in Canada to make the film, the movie pilot, I had this short hair, and he hated it. And I said, come on, man, it's been years, why don't give me a leather jacket, I'll have short hair, I'll speak with a northern English accent. This is the real. And he said to me, he just looked at me with some kind of amused pity. And he said, they'll run you out of town, they won't go for it. Doctor Who's got to be soft, he's got to be he's got to be sensitive. So he wouldn't go for it. So they got me this awful wig out of a box, stuck it on my head in spirit glue, and the rest is history. And then, whatever it was, not even 6, 7, 8, 9 years later, there comes Eccleston with his little buzz-cutted leather jacket and his northern accent. Yeah. Aren't you Frank Nightingale? No, I remember you. You're the one who makes. Sorry.
Did you take much choice in your costume?
No.
And if so, anyway,
No.
did you get to keep many props or costumes?
No, it all. Sorry, I was interrupting you. It's not very British, is it?
Did you get to keep much of it?
No, in case the series went, they stuck it all in a box, along with the wig, incidentally, which I tried to get hold of so I could ceremoniously burn. like kids trying to do with their blazers when school's out. I tried to get hold of this wig. No, they took it back, stuck it in a box, it's somewhere in Canada. I think the best thing I can say is it will probably still fit me. But no, I hated it. And that's the truth. The wig. The costume I had no say in the matter whatsoever. Like I say, they wanted this very sort of strict approach that might tally with the stories of this new American audience. Anyway, sad to relate. More. Give me a few curveballs. You know what I mean?
What's your favourite inside design of the TARDIS, and did you get to have a say in it?
What was the second part of the question?
Did you get to have a say in the inside?
No, in fact, I did not inherit McCoy's TARDIS. I did in a steampunk TARDIS. That I thought was fantastic. The design of the pilot movie. At least I got to spend a few. They spent I think $5 million on this thing, not the TARDIS, the movie itself, which is a hell of a lot of money. No such money had ever been spent on Doctor Who before. This TARDIS, the set for this TARDIS, I think probably was almost as big as this room. It was from genuine perspective, and it was fantastic looking, and it was all practical. It all worked. I mean, not so practical as it took you back in time, but you know what I mean. And my kids were little, and they had a little play on it. When in fact, quite a long play. One of them wanted to play for about 40 minutes in the film and had to stop. Anyway. Yeah, so I had no say in it whatsoever. No, we were just doing this with the phone, really, at that time.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I have some close-up photos of the Sonic?
Can you have some close-up photos of the sun?
Yeah.
Can you zoom in from there, or is it going to bother you walking down
No,
here?
that's really crap quality because
See me after class, as I say.
Okay.
See me after class. Go to the naughty step. See me after class. Hello.
Hi.
You have a mic in your hand.
Obviously.
Don't waste it. Will you?
Alright.
Yeah.
If there was a 40th anniversary Doctor Who special in 2003,
Yeah.
which Doctor would you like to meet?
If there was a 40, say again, if there was a
40th anniversary special.
yeah, in 2003.
Yeah.
And what was the second part? You seem to be mixing your tenses.
Which Doctor would you like to meet in the 40th anniversary special if there was one?
If there was one. So we're going back in time now.
Yeah.
That's not just me, because we all gone back in time, aren't we? I know I was on a little sleep before I came on the stage, but I'm not that off the air, am I? But we all gone back in time now. Which Doctor? Probably Bill Hartnell. Bill Hartnell was my Doctor. I mean, it's weird as well to think back, he was probably younger than I am now when he did it. I think he probably was. How old was he? How old did he do it? How old was he? 55. I'm 54, so he's the same age, really, as I am. That's kind of weird, isn't it? But to us, he seemed like this really old fella. To which you want to say, oh, but Paul. That's funny, isn't it? I kind of like that. But this week, apropos of nothing except I love the man. We mentioned Mcgann before, but for those of you who've seen Mcgann, because we lost a great friend, a great actor last week, Richard Griffiths. A great actor, and he led the way really with and why am I mentioning him now? Well, except that I love him, but also in the same spirit, he was only 38 when he did that. But just some actors can convince you that he was meant to be in his 60s, but you buy it. You know, that he was 60 odd. Marlon Brando in The Godfather, 48. And yet he's Robert Duvall's dad. He's probably 41, you know. I could waffle on for hours. And my favourite of all is in The Graduate. Remember The Graduate? There's 7 years between them. She's only 38, 39. He's 32. But that's the two actors, they're almost contemporary. You just like, Bill, you look very serious. What's going on?
We're going to observe the uninterviewable duty of...
Yeah, these people have got to get out and get some fresh air.
Yes,
They should strike a medal, 500 medals for you all.
We're going to take a 10-minute chill break and then we'll be right back in with 4 doctors.